Tynes Women of Ag is brought to you by John Deere, who celebrates the strength and resilience of the women who make farms run.
Mother's Day weekend, we kicked off our Women of Ag series, celebrating women and their many roles in agriculture over the past year. To wrap things up this weekend, it's an exclusive look into a recent anhydrous ammonia accident in rural Iowa and the Christmas miracle that followed.
It was calm across these Iowa fields on November 19th. It was a Sunday, and Kendra Vander Leest says here in central Iowa, it seemed prime for fall field work.
Before lunch, he decided it was fit to pull ammonia. She
says her fiancé, Joe Rempe, spent all afternoon in the field.
As the evening came around, I had checked on him, Live 360, and everything seemed fine at that point.
And about 7:30 that night, she heard the tractor crawling toward the house, thinking it meant Joe was calling it quits for the night.
I was in the kitchen making Josie's bedtime bottle, and I was prepping her bottles for daycare on Monday. And I went to put her bottles in her daycare bag and just happened to look up out the window, and I saw the tractor and a plume of anhydrous smoke.
Seeing that plume of smoke, Kendra's heart dropped.
I knew it was Joe. I knew instantly it was Joe. I knew what I was seeing, but it was just surreal. Like, there's no way.
She rushed to grab her phone, and she said she was full of fear.
And as I'm running up the steps, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's gone. There's no way. Like, as bad as that is, there's no way.
Knowing she would call and Joe might not even be alive to answer, she called anyway.
I knew I couldn't run out there into the plume. Otherwise, I would wind up dead or hurt. So I called him, and he answered.
I think he said, Joe. All I could say was, help me.
I hung up and called 911. But I knew by the way he said help me that he was badly hurt.
Hello, 911. Where is your emergency?
We have an anhydrous ammonia accident.
An anhydrous ammonia accident? Okay.
I need an ambulance. I need hazmat crew.
The urgent 911 call capturing the moment Kendra found Joe.
Joe, I'm on the phone with 911. You need water? Oh, God. Okay, I've got 911 on the phone. Joe, just lay down. I'm going to get water. Lay down. I'm going to get water.
All right. He inhaled?
Yes, his lungs are burned. He said his lungs are burned. The tank is completely unloading, but there's no houses nearby.
Okay.
For anyone to get her. It's bad.
Kendra says she found Joe crawling on this gravel about 200 yards from where the tractor had stopped, and he was fighting for his life.
As soon as he heard me, he just collapsed.
Kendra says the second she saw the plume of smoke, she immediately knew it was anhydrous. That's because Kendra's full-time job is with the Iowa Department of Agriculture in the Feed and Fertilizer Bureau, handling anhydrous ammonia inspections across the state, so she knew exactly how bad the damage could be.
He didn't have any burns on his skin, so the water didn't really do any good. There was nothing for me to dump the water on, but all of his burns were all internal.
I was badly burned inside.
As Kendra was driving to the hospital, she still didn't know what had just transpired in the field. All she knew is Joe was applying anhydrous, something he's done for nearly 30 years.
I hooked up to a set of twins.
Typically, the anhydrous tanks have a hose holder like this, but he says that pair of tanks that they received did not.
So I tried to put a loop in the hoses. Well, my loop must have come loose. And when I was turning on the corner, the left front tire of twin tank must have ran over my hose, and then it broke the front valve or pulled the threads out, and it come apart.
Joe says he was toward the back of this field when he heard a pop, and gas started shooting straight toward the tractor.
The whole field was turning fog, and I'm like, I got to go to plan B. I do not know what to do.
That's when Joe decided his only option was to head toward the house, all while he couldn't see, and he was losing oxygen to breathe.
I knew where the bottom terrace would come out at, so I could follow the terrace every once in a while. I could see it.
But as he got to this crossing, he says he couldn't see anything
I lost where I was at. I just drove by.
Feel.
Somehow he made it past, and at that point, the smoke cleared enough to see the gravel road.
When I crested the hill, I was blacking out because I was losing my air. And I really thought I was pretty close.
At that point, the tractor stopped moving.
I'd only pulled 1.1 acres off that tank, so I knew that sucker had a lot of anhydrous in it. And it kept blowing at the tractor. And I was so scared to get out, but I knew I had to because it was my only choice.
He says he threw on a sweatshirt he had with him and grabbed a bottle of water he knew he had on the floor. And after he climbed out, he tried to run toward the house, but ran out of air.
And I went down, and I started crawling.
Once Joe was airlifted, Kendra says she still didn't know if Joe was going to survive.
2 doctors came in and told us what was going on. They could not intubate him because his throat was swelling shut. And so they cut in a trach, which is an emergency trach, to get air to him. I got to Iowa City. They said that he had grade 1 to grade 2 burns in his sinus cavities, throat, and deep into his lungs.
Joe spent 10 days in the hospital, but the real work for Kendra started when they sent Joe home.
I have taken about a month off work. The nurses trained me how to take care of him, how to administer his feeds, and crush his medication.
Something she does every 45 minutes right now. Home health nurses come twice a week, but the best nurse, Joe says, is Kendra.
She's good.
In this Christmas miracle, Joe knows Kendra is his angel.
She saved me. There's no doubt in my mind. If she was over there, she couldn't have seen it. She just happened to be looking. I would say there was about 15 to 20 miracles from that tractor to the corner of the yard to Des Moines, Iowa City.
Survival that's also thanks to Kendra, who's cherishing the fact she can celebrate this Christmas with all their family.
Well, Kendra says they both learned a lot that day, including a reminder that you can never be too safe, nor can you think that an accident like that will never happen to you. She says if they ever use anhydrous on the farm in the future, every tractor will have a full face respirator inside, something she wishes that Joe had that day.
All right. Thank you. I love it.
You're
I need a
welcome.
new one.
Your turn, yeah.
Oh.
What do you think? Oh, it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Nice. Hey. You know, I was thinking this will look better on you. Let's try this.